right, so this is kind of just a look at the gauge cluster, all digital, really nice. Obviously you have your ambient lighting that kind of goes around all the way of the car, which makes it really sweet. And you can do a whole multitude of different colors up here. We'll change everything, which I think is actually pretty slick and pretty neat. If you've seen one of these drive at night, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But it lights up underneath here, lights up underneath the doors all the way to the back. These are the standard seats in it. It's kind of got like a little Alcantara maybe material right here, but the seats actually feel good. For me, I always have issues with bolsters. They actually feel pretty good. Obviously, the big controversy with these cars are all of the touchscreen. There's no physical button for the volume or for the temperature. I really don't have an opinion one way or the other on it. Obviously, you have climate, you have your modes, which for me, climate and modes is just about all that I do, you know. And then if you just wanted to come over into here, it's actually pretty responsive. You know, ambient lights I'll mess with and go through that. You can obviously adjust it to moods, different things, but so far that's actually been okay. Radio media, yeah, I need to play around with it more to really have an opinion on it. You know, these knobs here, obviously, you know, you can tap it and go up, or you can slide it and it'll go down, and then your volume for the radio or the stereo is right there. So same thing.
In conjunction with the biggest names in music.
I don't know. I don't see a big problem with it so far. I did notice as I shift, this was kind of coming loose a little bit, but the SE trim has the Harman Kardon stereo. I need to check it out. But you have the plastic over here, kind of the honeycomb pattern. I actually think it looks pretty slick, pretty neat. I will say that this car does feel like it has quite a bit of torque. And a decent amount of power, which is actually surprisingly good because that's always a huge concern for me. You obviously just have your manual parking brake, start stop right there. Let me show you guys kind of the outside of the car, but you'll see the red trim on the GTI kind of follows it all the way around. I don't like the looks of these wheels. These wheels aren't my favorite. On the SEs, they actually get a bar right here that does light up in white right there. You can see it. But, and then you also have these lights down here. But this is their, I think it's reflex silver, which is okay. I really think for these cars to look good, they need to be lower, different wheels, you know, and tinted windows. But they've changed up some of the script for the VW this year. But this is the look of the car. Actually, it looks pretty slick. The SEs come with this kind of big panoramic sunroof, which I actually think looks pretty nice. But yeah, car's very torquey, very responsive. This is just their 2-liter, nothing crazy, like 240 horsepower, and then like 270, 280 pound-feet of torque. But yeah, so far, I've actually liked it. Back seat, back here, plenty of room. I'm 5'11". You know, I have plenty of room back here. You obviously have vents that you can adjust. This is kind of the view of the cockpit, what I actually think looks pretty nice. They do, I thought they had like some crazy pockets right here. Oh, it's right here. So just some different pockets. You know, there is a lot of plastic on here, but overall, I actually like it. I actually think it looks pretty nice. So, yep, this is the looks from the back seat. And yeah, nothing too crazy going back here. If you do get the Autobahn package, you actually can adjust the climate back here, and these rear seats are heated as well. So that is a difference too. Definitely looks like they got some LED lighting in here, but overall, actually a really nice looking car if you can kind of see from back here. Just tested out the Harman Kardon in here. It actually sounds really good. I think it's worth bumping up to the SE package. You know, from the S trim level to the SE, you're about $4 to $5 grand, but you do get some extra goodies. What's nice with the Golfs and the GTIs is they come standard with a heated steering wheel, and they come standard with front heated seats, which I actually think makes it looks really nice. Makes it very comfortable for an entry-level trim level. You don't have to get the top trim level. I did turn up the Harman Kardon. I actually think it sounds really good. I was actually surprised how good it sounds, and I'm normally pretty picky about stock stereo systems. So let's go do some driving, give you guys maybe some impressions of the acceleration, and we'll wrap up. Wrap up just real quick on my impressions of driving the GTI. It's been a few days since I've driven it. I've had some time to sink in. So things I didn't like about it. there really wasn't a whole lot. I would need more time with it to kind of fully give like an in-depth review. The interior, there are a lot of hard plastics on there. For me, sometimes it feels a little bit cheap, but me personally, I'd rather have a hard plastic than Alcantara. I know that sounds really weird, but I could see for some of you that if you love plastic or hate plastic, that could be something you like or strongly dislike about it. The gear shifter, for whatever reason, on that car felt extremely loose. I don't know if the person who drove it before me was just slamming through gears really hard, or a lot of people have, but it felt like the gear shifter was like gonna pop off. It did not feel stable. So I'm sure that's not that way on all cars. If it's not, or if it is, please let me know, or if you've seen that before, let me know as well. In terms of styling, you know, for me is another negative. It looks okay to me. I feel the GTIs that I really like the looks of are Golf Rs. Really have just a nicer set of wheels on it, lowered tint, but those are things that can all be fixed. If you're not into digital gauges or just digital anything, this is not the car for you. If you're an analog person, don't buy this car. Another thing that you guys need to be aware of is for the SE and Autobahn trims, if you guys are expecting to get the Harman Kardon, I would not expect to get it. What I've seen from dealers is when the cars get to port, they're not installing the Harman Kardon system, and you can actually ask your dealer if the Harman Kardon delete has actually been removed from the car. So they're giving you like a credit of like $300 to $400, but it's not much. You know, things that I like about the GTI is honestly the pricing. You can get them from 30 grand to 40 grand. And in today's market, I'm not seeing GTIs around me where they're marked up. I have 3 dealerships where they're charging MSRP and 1 dealership where I can get it from under MSRP. In terms of the Golf Rs, good luck. They didn't make hardly any of them. And anyone that you can find, they have a crazy markups. The highest one I saw was 40 grand. So yes, I would love a Golf R. In terms of just the car itself, it's really a great formula. It's a formula that's been around for a long time. The car has plenty of torque, has plenty of power, could obviously use some more. The thing that you need to note with the manual transmission versus the DSG is if you are planning on putting a tune on these cars, you start to get the clutch to slip. So that's something to be mindful. I'm a big manual guy, but the DSGs in these do really well. You know, I thought the car was very comfortable. It was spacious. The interior lighting was really cool. I like the gauges. The instrument cluster and the digital gauges with no buttons really didn't bother me. You have a button for climate control. You have a button for your drive modes. That's about all I really use an infotainment system for. But if you're someone who likes to tinker, I could see why you wouldn't like this. And there's also a shortcut menu if you swipe down. So if you like want to take off the traction control, which that's a process to get to, but if you create a shortcut and you just swipe down, it's right there. There's a lot of technology packed into the car. Even just the base trim comes with heated seats, heated steering wheel. So I feel like for the money, what you're getting is a great platform, and those cars respond so well to tunes and just a couple minor modifications. You really can have a Golf R on your hands with just a couple changes. So for me, overall, I like the car. I would probably want to drive another one again, just in terms of to see if it's actually what I want. I think for me, I'd want the upgraded leather. I'd like to sit in one. It's just hard right now in today's market to be able to do that. But those are my quick impressions of the Golf GTI. If you guys have driven a Mark 8, let me know. Would love to hear your feedback. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.